A warm welcome to one and all. Let's discuss about recycling of plastic and construction demolition waste. Myself, Dr. V. Godwin Sharmila, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. Recycling, in the sense we know the process of transforming the material or the waste product from one form to another form. Here we are considering the recycling of the plastic and the construction or demolition waste. Construction and the demolition waste, we know that the waste which was generated from the building construction or the construction of any materials. For example, bridges, flyovers, subway, roads, etc. So these waste which was generated are highly non-biodegradable in nature, since the material which was remained after the demolition waste are concrete, plaster, metal, woods and plastic, etc. So some of this part of the waste such as aggregate, metals, woods, plastics can also be reused or recycled and reused for various type of other construction. So this type of waste comes under the part of municipal solid waste. Usually this waste are very high in nature, which are heavy, high density and are often very bulky in quantity. So while we are carrying those waste from one place to another places, it may interfere the traffic and the disrupt the process of carrying. So the waste from this site require proper monitoring prior to the proper disposal and proper reuses. For example, if we are collecting the waste from the small sector, means small generator, that is from the household construction, usually this waste are collected, they are stored in the waste bin or the storage container. So this waste are higher in degrading capacity, since the household waste usually contain the organic materials, and it may used for the energy recovery process also, but it has a negative impact of developing the harmful gases, as well as it leads to the generation of the heavy leachate liquids which need proper drainage system, etc. But while we are considering the waste from the larger sector, usually this construction industry, nearly 10 to 12 million tons of waste are generated annually in India from each and every day. So, but the projection of this building material, the projection of this waste material usually from this small scale housing sector generate nearly 55,000 million cubic meter of aggregates. So these aggregate can be reused while constructing the road. So while using this aggregate in the road, we need an additional quantity of only 750 million cubic meter for completing the road sector. Okay. So this prevents the excess usage, or this prevents the cost of construction of roads, since we are recycling the waste aggregate from the housing sector to the for the laying of the road. So during this process, we usually, for completion of this type of projects, we usually, after demolition, we separate or sort the waste which can be used for the construction site initially. After separation, we used to study the durability and the strength of the material and the ability and the potentiality of the reusability. After that, we used to reuse those material for laying the road in a proper way. Hence, in order to achieve a desirable quantity of the recycled material, these waste must be follow under following tests, and we will determine the strength and durability. Based on that, it can be reused for the construction process. So the reusable material which can be generated from this demolition waste are bricks, stone slab, timber conduit, piping, etc. This depends on the, as already said, this depends on the durability condition, and also based on the extent of possible utilization must be determined prior to the reusing. After the, if the following test was not properly maintained, the sale of those material cannot be done without any proper proof of its durability. So usually the plastic, broken glasses, scrap metal can be reused without any treatment to the recycling industry. But if we are using this brick pads, broken pastel concrete pipe, it must undergo proper test and the measures of reutilization ability. Based on that, it can be used as a undercoat for the lane while for constructing the road for taking the heavy weight movement of the heavy moving loads. So in that type of places, this type of material can be used as a one layer of cover to the traffic roads. So the larger unusable material can be sent for the filling of some places. If the road was not properly uniform, it has ups and down means this type of construction waste can be used as a filling for those places for proper rectification of the damaged road. And also the fine materials such as sand dust can be used as a cover material during the sanitary landfill process. Nearly in India, there was about 61 metropolitan and mega cities which would generate huge quantity of waste because it has a large building and the large development activities. So these sites are identified and this waste must be temporarily stored, and since this waste does not need any physical treatment, since these waste which are generated usually contain only the inert waste, that means the inorganic particles, so it does not induces any bad odor or pollution. Hence only we require proper step to reduce the dust generation as well as the noise during the handling of those waste. So compared to the storage of the organic waste, the storage of inorganic waste is very easy and it can be handled very easier. But the only weakness is the waste was huge in quantity. Hence the transportation cost is must be considered prior to the proper disposal or proper storage of the waste. Hence it must be stored in the nearby site where the waste has been generated. So at this site, different waste must be separated in the different set of heaps, and proper grading and the proper arrangement must be necessary for determining the reusability, hence which can be done by erecting the metallic screen between the different heaps of the separation of those waste. So the grade of the waste material must be considered and the appropriate labeling must be done. Hence only this waste can be sold properly as planned from time to time for each type of constructional work. Thank you.